You looked up at me with his big weepy eyes. Don't go home tonight, Harry. Hold me a little longer, Harry. What was I supposed to do?
What are you saying? You took pity on me?
No, I was...
Fuck you!
Somber day in Hollywood as a director, Rob Reiner, and his wife found dead. Apparently, allegedly, their lives were taken by their own son. We'll talk about it on today's show. Lots of other news we will get to, and we have our special guests waiting in the wings. Not a show I thought we'd do today, but we're going to talk about it. Let's go. Welcome, everyone. Plug your channel and let's start. And people will be joining late, so it's a smaller group today. But thank you for being here on a Monday. That is, I mean, I don't know about you guys. I had trouble sleeping. We'll talk about it. Let's go. Steph, plug your channel.
Steph, My Nerdy Home here on YouTube.
Cool. Thanks, Steph, for being here.
Badgercast, we'll be watching Princess Bride and The American President tonight. Two of my favorite movies.
Alan Ng Film Threat, and I'm on this channel.
Okay, Alan. All right, a few reminders. This week is our Star Trek funeral. It's going to be epic. This will be the last week. You can go to shop.filmthreat.com, pick up a shirt or some merch from our Final Frontier collection. The funeral will begin Wednesday at noon Pacific time. We will be joined by Critical Drinker, Mahler, Az from Heel versus Babyface, Gary Beekler of Nerdrotic. There will be no nooner that day. I have to confirm with Gary. He said no nooner. We're just gonna do this, and Badger will be there. Everyone from Versus.
Yeah, no Badgercast that day. I'm just the funeral.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Confirmed news. And lots of special guests who've never been on this show will be joining us, offering eulogies and condolences for the franchise of Star Trek. We do this with good humor. I know some people criticize, what are you doing a few, like, we're doing it with a sense of humor, folks. We have fun with this. Okay. So join us December 17th and post your eulogy on social media. Hashtag Star Trek is dead. Hashtag Star Trek funeral. And we may feature your eulogy during our, I don't know, it's going to be 8 hours, Alan. It's going to be 8 hours.
I heard 12.
I heard 12 hours. What? 12 hours. Okay. We'll get into it. But first, some comments at the top, then we'll get to box office and the news. Badger, if you would.
Mm-hmm. And Andrew Cram gifting 20 Film Threat memberships, starting us off right. Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you, Andrew Cram. That is awesome. It's huge. Appreciate that.
Lord Comet, everyone's favorite ferret, for 2. Hi, friends. Your favorite Comet is here. Miss me with every shot so far. He just zigs and zags. Bass Player for 10. I remember after years of trying, finally getting my friend, who is a massive Andre fan, to watch Princess Bride. I had to bite my tongue for 90 minutes while watching it with, not quoting every single line.
Yeah, let's save those comments for when we talk about Rob Reiner. That was a great comment, though.
Scott Jonesy, member for 21 months. Nearly Christmas, people. Only Christmas films now.
That's right.
Die Hard, Batman Returns. Yeah, sure.
Let's get to it. Box office. What happened this weekend, Alan?
What happened? I'll tell you what happened. Look, I don't know what everyone's excited about, but Zootopia only made $258 million so far. This
25 million at number 1, Five Nights at Freddy's 2, number 2.
But Zootopia officially crossed the 1 billion mark in its
oh
second
my,
week.
1 billion worldwide.
Yeah.
Domestic 258. We got Five Nights at Freddy at number 2, 19 million. Wicked for Good, number 3, 8.5 million. Durandahar, sorry about that. Number 4, debuts with 3.5 million. Durandal,
377 theaters.
That means those theaters were packed. That's amazing. Now You See Me, Now You Don't, number 5 with 2.3 million. Jujutsu
Kaisen.
Kaisen.
Yeah, Jujutsu Kaisen.
Jujutsu Kaisen.
Okay, you guys got it. Number 6, 2 million. Ella McKay, a movie Alan refuses to see, debuts at number 7 at 2 million. Number 8 is can you scroll down there, Alan?
Mm-hmm.
Number 8. Wait,
The
how the Grinch? Okay, that's a re-release. Is in the top 10. Number
That's the
8,
Jim Carrey one.
Yeah, the Jim Carrey, 1.9 million. Number 9, Eternity, 1.7 million. Great date movie. Hamnet at number 10 with 1.4 million. Silent Night, Deadly Night. Hey, number 11, sort of in there with 1 million. Folks, I'll tell you the lesson learned from this. Make Zootopia movies. You're good a lot.
Certainly for China.
Yeah, what are the other takeaways from all this?
Slim pickings this winter.
Yeah, well, not until this weekend. Now we've got Avatar opening this week, and more than Avatar, we've got the Avengers Doomsday trailer, which will debut.
Which one?
Well, exactly. The one of 4. So we'll see what happens with that. But
have you seen the one that leaked online already?
I did see it. I don't know if it's real or how much of the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
What's that?
I don't trust anything.
I know.
Yeah, I that would be like to fake one and then film it off of a phone screen, which was off a phone screen tape.
Mm-hmm.
Can't you just have AI?
It was so blurry.
Make the fake trailer like it's a fake phone camera of it. Like, it would not put me beyond them to ask that.
You can add that effect, but we'll talk about that later in the week when we get more confirmation. Let's talk about this. Rob Reiner. I'd love to hear the panel's thoughts. I'll say this. I grew up watching All in the Family.
Mm-hmm.
He was introduced to me as Meathead. He was that, and by the way, Archie Bunker was a full-on a-hole. I mean, he was racist, and at a time in television where you could really be racist and use certain words, he was racist. Meathead was the balance that made that show so memorable, and conversations were had on that show that could never happen now in a sitcom. And it was funny. And there was no doubt Archie was an a-hole, but as I can't pronounce things today, points out, he was the measured one, but he was also an a-hole in many situations. But, we were allowed to call each other names. I love that. And then he evolved into such an important director of Americana. Everything from Stand By Me, movies like Stand By Me, Princess Bride, which is a kid's movie, but not really. No. And I saw in 2021, I went to the Hollywood Bowl and saw The Princess Bride, Rob Reiner there, the LA Philharmonic, saw the movie with the orchestra playing. It was incredible. And this year had the opportunity to see Rob Reiner at San Diego Comic-Con in a conversation with director Paul Feig, Directors on Directing, that Steve from Collider moderated that panel. It was a brilliant panel. Directors talking shop to other directors. Rob was, talking about Spinal Tap Part 2, which we got to see a few clips from. He was charming. He was amazing conversation between two colleagues. Then I went to the premiere of Spinal Tap 2 and saw Rob do a live Q&A with the cast in character. It's weird that my path crossed with him twice this year, but just remember, he's made so many amazing films. We can talk about them, but I'd like to get, anyone else have personal remembrances of Rob Reiner that you'd like to share?
I mean, we're roughly the same age, but yeah, it was Meathead. That was my first introduction, All in the Family. It was at that show came out at a very transitional period in American history when I believe it was the beginning of equality. It was the beginning of diversity, and somehow we've jumped off the track. But having said that, I remember when I first saw The Princess Bride, I was hanging out with some friends. They went to UCLA, went to Westwood. First Friday, packed, all adults and everyone laughing. I had to see it twice because we laughed through half the movie. I couldn't pick it up. And then Stand By Me, I must have seen that at least 30 times. Harry Met Sally, another classic. And I talked about it on Friday, but just because you disagree with someone doesn't mean you go kill him. I know that's not what happened with Rob Reiner, but it's this temperature we've built where everyone we meet, in our mind, we have to decide, are they friend or foe? We don't give people the benefit of the doubt anymore, and we don't even try to create some kind of unity. And people are going to hate me saying this, but it's happening on both sides, but more on one than the other. We just got to start seeing people as human beings. And
it's and also, Alan, I might remind you of this video here. I don't know if you remember this.
You looked up at me with his big weepy eyes. Don't go home tonight, Harry. Hold me a little longer, Harry. What was I supposed to do?
What are you saying? You took pity on me?
No, I was...
Fuck you!
Alan, how am I hotter than Meg Ryan?
Alan can fake it with the best of them. I'll have what he's having.
I know.
Respect to Rob. He was one of the only celebrities to come out and disavow people talking shit about Charlie when he was assassinated. This we'll get into it. Obviously, it seems not be political. I hate his politics. He was a super political activist. That has nothing to do with being unalived by his son or whatever happened. Horrible. I will remember him for his great movies and his performance. People liked him on The Bear and other things. So he's still acting, still directing. When I'm looking at this list of movies, like some of these are my favorite of all time.
Same. He directed some amazing films: Stand By Me, Princess Bride, Harry Met Sally, Misery, A Few Good Men, which is probably one of my favorite movies of all time to watch. And he was in some of my favorite, I don't watch a lot of romantic comedies, but he was in some that I really, really enjoy. And what happened to him was terrible and tragic. And it's just, I swear this weekend, it was really, really hard in terms of news.
There was a lot of horrible news.
There was a lot this weekend. I took a nap because I'm old. And when I laid down, it was nothing but the Bondi Beach stuff. And when I woke up, it was nothing but Rob Reiner. So we cannot catch a break in this reality right now. It's just
along with other shootings of a horrible nature in this country. We won't go down that road right now. That's for others to address.
Wolf of Wall Street. Sorry, Chet said. Just saw him in Wolf of Wall Street. He played the dad that was their enforcer, accountant, or whatever.
And here he is working, into, he could have made more films.
Yeah, he could have lived a lot longer.
Yes. The filmography is amazing, but what he really addressed was humanity and Americana. He's really that Americana. Stand By Me is a classic. Princess Bride, classic. He's a guy that made films that, went beyond the time in which they were made. They're kind of timeless stories.
They're also different too. Some filmmakers just kind of make the same, but Stand By Me, Misery, Princess Bride, The American President.
Few Good Men.
Those are drastically different.
It's such a
drastically
wide
different movies. Dude's very prolific.
I just, when you look at the filmography, it's everything from romantic comedy to horror to coming of age. Crossing genres. We've talked about recently maybe some filmmakers that have kind of revealed that they may only be one-trick pony, but Rob Reiner was not a one-trick pony. He could entertain and tell stories that went, that cross many genres. They're very different films. It's you look at certain movies, you go, okay, that's a Chris Nolan film. Or you look at Guardians of the Supergirl Galaxy, and you go, well, that's James Gunn. He makes
Mhm.
the same movie every time. You cannot say that about Rob Reiner. They're very even mockumentary, and then including himself in it as the director in the movie.
And the cultural zeitgeist,
Right.
also, like the faking the orgasm scene is fucking famous. You can't handle the truth. Like, I do not think it means what you think it means. Like, all these things embedded themselves in our pop culture.
Oh yeah. It's like he understood human nature and the emotional weight to, to being human. He put all of that in his films, and that's why it's such a wide range of filmography, because like if you look at all of these films, everything is basically, human emotion, driven by emotion, and he understands that, is able to get that across in his films. It doesn't matter what it is.
Well, also, if you look at his filmography, these are all movies that they were not huge hits. They did well. All of his films have done well, with the exception of a few that I remember. But
North.
What?
North.
Remember, never heard of it.
Yeah, a few that.
Yeah.
Oh, is that the kid that's hitchhiking north?
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay,
but
I have heard of it. Never seen it.
It's
Look,
unanimously considered a bad movie.
That's fine. But the point is, I was thinking of LBJ. I saw LBJ and I was not blown away by that, even though I love Woody Harrelson. But you look at his filmography, it's kind of all over the map, and all just generally good films, solid, and movies that stand the test of time. I feel the problem is we're in one of the worst eras of filmmaking ever. Just the worst era. If there's a thing is there's such a thing as a dark age, we're in the dark age for Hollywood right now, with few exceptions. But his films all have stood the test of time. I mean, look, he made a sequel. This is Spinal Tap. It was made the original was made in 1984, and that movie was still popular from the music, the characters, merch even. I mean, they make jokes about that in the sequel. So
and he's the only one in the movie who didn't age.
Yeah. He looks pretty much the same. Pretty much the same, but it's all very sad. I mean, he was 78 years old, so lived a full life, but could have made a lot more films. Yeah. So, but let's talk about the circumstances under which he was taken from us. According to reports online, he is allegedly was killed by his own son.
Yeah, he's got 3 kids. So one of them and the one they had a contentious relationship with.
Correct. Let me bring up the story from Variety, and Alan, or Badger, if you wouldn't mind taking a look at the notes and just getting us the basics from this, and then I have something I want to share.
Sure. Rob Reiner Remembered. Filmmaker Rob Reiner and his wife Michelle were killed in their home, allegedly by someone close to them. Details remain unclear, but the shock ripples through Hollywood. We've since heard that it is the son they have in custody. Yeah. The incident threatens to overshadow the career of one of the industry's most beloved figures, known not just for his films, but his optimism, generosity, and activism. It's a sad day in Hollywood, an unthinkable, upsetting, and all-around shocking day. It's one of the quotes. Reiner is widely regarded as one of the great American studio directors, despite never receiving an Oscar nomination for Best Director, which we will probably see a posthumous one come out very soon. Over an 11-year stretch, he directs 6 Hall of Fame films, each leaving a permanent mark on pop culture. This is Spinal Tap, Stand By Me, Misery, The Princess Bride, When Harry Met Sally, A Few Good Men, The American President. Unlike filmmakers known for flashy visual signatures, Reiner kept himself invisible. Reiner, rather. His films don't call attention to directing tricks or stylistic flourishes. Instead, they focused on characters, performances, and emotional clarity. Writers like Nora Ephron, Aaron Sorkin, and William Goldman often receive much of the credit, but the article argues that Reiner's true genius lies in knowing when to step back and let others shine. One of Reiner's greatest strengths was casting. You will struggle to find a single miscast role in his major films, especially praising The Princess Bride, where every actor felt perfectly matched to their character. Reiner encouraged improvisation, trusted actors to deepen the material, and created an environment where performances feel natural, lived in, and timeless. Comedy ran through all of Reiner's work, even his dramas. Raised by comedian and legend Carl Reiner and shaped by All in the Family, he absorbed humor as a storytelling instinct, not a genre constraint. The sensibility helped his films balance sincerity with wit, never tipping too far into irony or sentimentality. Reiner was deeply involved in shaping scripts, working closely with writers to refine structure, stakes, and character logic. Aaron Sorkin credits his process with strengthening A Few Good Men, a level of script discipline the article argues is rare in modern studio filmmaking. While Reiner's career slowed in the 21st century, he remained creatively active, directing the warmly received HBO documentary Albert Brooks, Defending My Life, and returning this year with Spinal Tap 2. His legacy remains secure, even if his later work never matches his peak run. Rob Reiner occupies a rare space, deeply loved, endlessly influential, and still underappreciated. Reflecting on this tragic event, we land on a single word that echoes one of Reiner's most famous films: inconceivable.
Yeah, and let's welcome on Ramesh Iyer. Ramesh, you're a friend of the channel. You've been on Versus before. You're a director in your own right. Do you have any thoughts on Rob Reiner, as you just heard?
Yeah, no, it's just really sad. And it's a tragedy. You know, it was a family member, apparently. And, you know, it goes to show you that it doesn't matter how successful you are, or, you know, that you just, everyone has to deal with tragedy in their own way. So you're not exempt from it in any way.
Yeah. I wanna show something. You know, Hollywood has really taken Rob Reiner's passing really hard. If you look at all the comments, it's allegedly Rob Reiner's son Nick who took his own father's life. And this clip, found this clip, and it's actually, you're not going to believe it. It's Rob Reiner and his son Nick talking about the movie Being Charlie, played a film festival, and his son was a drug addict. I'd like to show the trailer for Being Charlie, and then just a minute or so of the interview with Rob and his son Nick, so you can see his son Nick struggled with addiction and drugs. Let's take a look at this trailer. I'm embarrassed to say I'd never heard of this movie, but when you watch this trailer, we'll explain a lot. So let's take a look at it together.
If they say you only have a year to live, do it sober. It'll seem like an eternity.
Charlie, why don't you tell us what you want to thank God for? 6 months of sobriety? Nothing you want to say?
Do I smell like weed? No. I think I smell like weed.
You look like you came from a funeral.
Why don't we use your bathroom?
Hey, go ahead. Let me see those. My mother's oxys.
Dad, I'm not going to listen to you tell me what a drug addict I am.
Damn.
Careful, I'm one of your constituents now. You wouldn't want to lose the governor's race by 1 vote.
You can either head back to treatment or live on the streets. It's your choice.
Charlie, you think your dad's going to know about any of this when he's elected? No, he's going to be in Sacramento doing his governor's.
Oh, what, you taking their side?
Right, you're right. Go shoot up, prove everyone right. Just stick it out for 30 days.
Being an outpatient comes with more freedom, but more responsibility.
There's still group though, right?
Every day.
You think he'll stay?
He has no choice.
Hey, you making a break for it?
Friendship during sobriety, not a problem. Romance, however, tends to get in the way.
You can look, but you can't touch.
When you enter rehab, you get strip searched. And if I had known that that would be the last time that anybody would touch me, I would have tried to enjoy it more.
All right, you're done.
You were funny, man. You got something.
It's not for everybody.
It's for you.
You know, it would be so great right now. Drink.
If you continue to refuse to accept the disease that put you here, you will continue to be a repeat offender.
Don't you mean repeat customer?
I love him. I love him.
choice. You've had plenty of choices, Charlie. Rehab or jail. Quite a wide selection there. One of us had to keep him safe.
For him or for you?
I can't stay here anymore, okay? This place is like a prison.
It's not even close. But don't worry. If you're not dead, you'll probably end up there anyway.
Don't follow me down. Don't follow me down.
It was never about the drugs. All I ever wanted was a way to kill the noise.
Getting sober is a selfish thing. You gotta help yourself first.
I know what you're thinking. Who is this kid with the silver spoon in his mouth, and why does he keep cooking heroin in it? Total waste of a good utensil.
Directed by Rob Reiner, written by his son Nick.
Yeah.
There are so many lines in this. And Carrie Elways is playing the father in this. This was I guess at the Toronto Film Festival. Let's take a look at a little bit of the interview with Rob Reiner and his son, he's not ready for the spotlight. His dad is much more media savvy, much more comfortable being interviewed. But here is Rob and his son Nick on must be local television in Toronto. Here we go.
Guys, thank you so much for being here. Congratulations on this movie.
Thank you.
From what I've read, it's a very personal story, correct?
Yes. I mean, it's based, loosely based. It's not exactly a documentary, but it is loosely based on, things that Nick went through and his relationship to me and his mother. And you can talk a little bit more about it, Nick, if you want.
These are like the WWE microphones with the.
Do you want to take it up to that level now?
I don't know. I've seen a lot of Monday Night Raw, so.
Should we just not talk about the movie and just start trash talking each other really loudly with these microphones?
We could talk some smack, but I don't know. What was the question?
Well, I mean, I guess the question is,
how personal the movie is.
It's a personal project for you guys, but it's also, as much as you might have lived some of the experiences that are in this movie, you have to tell the story. You have to write the script. You then have to make the movie. How much did you find that you had to sort of compromise what was personal for you and what told a good story and vice versa?
The last part you just said is important because it's like you do have to realize that there are some good things from your life and whether or not you want to include them. And I wasn't really that shy about including some of the bad stuff I did because a lot of people do things that are pretty unsavory when they're going through that. But in terms of making it a narrative, of course, it's not my life, but it needs to be constructed into a story. But I think I can relate to it, of course, and I hope other people can relate to it.
From reports that I read, his son continued, even after this film, continued to struggle with drug addiction, and he was homeless.
It's a lifelong thing.
It's a lifelong thing. It's a lifelong battle. Yeah.
Yeah. And care to comment on what we've seen so far in the movie as well? Jump in.
Tragic. Look at the eyes. I'm sure everyone's saying it. Yeah. The last thing you want to see happen.
I mean, it's just the fact that this was only, I mean, when did this movie come out? I'll take a look at this. This was not long ago. So
2015.
2015.
Yeah,
10 years.
Okay, so 10 years ago. This is 10 years. So maybe a little longer than I thought. But I never heard of this film. I don't know.
I have, yeah. I've heard of it. I didn't watch
heard
it.
of it.
I never watched it. But I think the star of it, that kid, was being cast in a lot of things at that time. So I remember liking that kid. So I know about this movie. I just never watched it. But it is a lifelong battle. You can see he is pretty uncomfortable talking about it. And it doesn't seem like he's comfortable being there with his dad. I feel like it's a project, but it was probably a project between them, to try and come closer. And they made a movie about the struggles, which I'm sure helped a lot of people, hit home with a lot of people, but it's nothing like this is an instant fix. It's a lifelong thing that they have to go through. So if this is just an insight, just a little bit of a peek inside of what they were going through as as father and son with a battle like this, then it is very tragic. The outcome being that he ended up murdering his father.
We're also assuming it's directly related to this stuff and not other things. Like, let's see what he was on. Maybe he was on a battery of SSRIs. Maybe they had other arguments. Maybe it was we don't know.
Yeah, but when you're in addiction and you get to the point of the intervention, and I think that's where the movie shows an intervention, and it probably kept going, but there is that ultimatum of either kick it and go to rehab, or you're out and we're cutting you off.
Yeah.
And the sense I get, and I don't know the facts, but the sense I get is they cut him off because he wouldn't go back. And this is it's a tough decision, and I don't blame anyone who has to make that decision. And it's just sad that this is where it came to.
I mean, I'm sure there's so many families that this affects, but when you brought that up, Alan, I read that same article and I thought, what would I do in that situation? It's easy to look at it from an outside point of view, but they basically said you either get off drugs and go homeless. But I almost think being homeless is another death sentence.
Yeah.
Like,
well, I think the point there is they gotta hit rock bottom before they can get help.
Right.
People just
I don't know if I could make that decision.
Yeah.
Right. It's I'm saying it's easy for us to judge, but I don't know if I were in that situation, if I could, part of me is like, if I had a son that was addicted, I'd want to get like 2 tickets and fly to Iceland or something, just be totally isolated,
right?
Or something, but to have to kick your son out. I mean, they obviously had no choice, and that's heartbreaking. And I'm also reminded of, this happens a lot, not Hollywood, but other places, but I'm reminded of Sam Levinson, right? Barry Levinson's son. And he wrote about it. And that's what Euphoria is about, his own sort of drug addiction too. So, it affects everybody. And
let's watch a few more minutes of this. The entire interview is about almost half an hour, 30 minutes. We will put a link in the description so you can watch the whole thing for yourself. But let's watch a little bit more and then we'll discuss it on the back end.
Did you guys have trouble at all when you first started writing the script? Because I imagine you were working hand in hand with him to develop the story and write the script. When it came to sort of what to use and what not to use, and what parts of your life made a good story and what parts didn't make a great story?
Well, yeah. I mean, the thing about a film like this, and it's by far the most personal thing that I've ever done, is that, and you don't set out to have a cathartic experience or this will be therapeutic in some way, but the fact that we were dealing with things that Nick had gone through and how I had related to it and how his mother had related to it, it forced me to have to see more clearly and understand more deeply what Nick had gone through. And I think it forced him to see things that I had experienced during this process. And it definitely brought us closer together. I mean, it was like over a period of a year, it was intense. It was difficult at times, but it was also the most satisfying creative experience I've ever had.
What was the most difficult part about working together for the two of you? I mean, I have trouble working together with my dad on yard work, let alone, a 2-year movie.
Well, what kind of yard work do you do?
That could be where it lies.
Rob can't resist trying to be funny. He's funny. I mean,
well, he's just ending. He's just ending.
Yeah. What kind of yard work? I mean, Alan, you were at the panel at San Diego Comic-Con. He was so funny.
Not that one. No,
you weren't at that. I thought you were.
Maybe
different one. But yeah, he was so funny at that panel.
Did you watch Being Charlie, the Charlie Sheen one, or whatever the one that just came out?
I watched that.
The big takeaway of that is just what an absolute champion Martin Sheen was. His dad never left his side, always loved him, always supported him. It seems like Rob, for the most part, was doing the same thing. If you've heard Gary talk about it the multiple times he's talked about, or get his book, Waiting for No Draw. At a certain point, your parents, you do have to just like, no, that's it. I can't condone it. And when you go, but that'll kill him. It's like, well, helping him will kill him. You gotta.
Because at that point, if you continue helping, you're enabling.
Yeah.
And that's, I think that's why cutting off is such a hard choice, but sometimes the necessary choice.
Yeah, I have that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, Alan. I was going to say I've got Gary's neurotic book. I'm waiting for the audio version so I can have him read it to me.
Oh, you know what I'm doing?
I read Gary's
I'm
book. I read
You
it.
read it, Steph.
I did. I read his book. I took a whole day and just sat down and read it. And it's a very, it made me cry at a couple of points because what they go through as addicts is terrible. You know, what leads them down that road is heartbreaking. You know, when he's talking about his rock bottom and things that he went through, things that he had to go through in prison, things that he had to go through, you know, when he left prison, all of that stuff, like it's very heartbreaking to read, especially knowing like my relationship with Gary and seeing him all the time. Like it is very difficult to read, but it's very eye-opening to like the things that addicts go through and have to overcome, and sort of like the mental and physical strength that it takes to get to a point where, okay, I'm finished, I need to, you know, get my life together. And not only that, but the mental and physical strength that it takes to stay clean every single day, that battle that they go through every single day. It's really eye-opening, you know. And what sucked was that like I finished reading it and like he was out of town, so I couldn't go over there and give him a hug. Like it's very eye-opening. If you haven't purchased it, if you haven't bought it, like go and, you know, go and buy it, read it. If you have it, read it. I think I put in my Twitter post, like if you just bought it to support Gary, just to support him, like open it up and read it. You know, like if you weren't planning on buying it just to buy it to support him, open it up and read it, because it is a really interesting story. I know that like a lot of us have heard him talk about it, you know, little tidbits here and there. This is the full story, and it is very eye-opening, and that's why I'm saying like this is so tragic that his story ended with him killing his father at the very
That was my
end.
ultimate point, that there is no right way to do it, but there seems to be a common path, and that's at a certain point you gotta let them hit that bottom.
I recommend getting the book too. The cover, I've only flipped through it. I have not read it as yet, but I've seen multiple people, not just you, Steph, other people who've said they read the book and cried. To be fair, they were all women. So I haven't heard a man say that yet, but I haven't read it either. So let's watch.
By the way, if you buy it on Kindle, I believe Kindle will read it for you, and it's like an audiobook.
All right. Well, I might do that. Anyway, let's watch a little bit more of this. Could they talk about what was it like to work together?
Don't like raking, you know.
Well, there you go. You got some negatives going in. What did you think? What was the toughest for you? What do you think, Nick?
It wasn't very tough. I mean, it was pretty nice experience for me. I don't really think it was like tough at all.
Really?
I mean, of course it was a little bit, but
I mean, we did get into fights over things, but ultimately it forced us to make the film better. I mean, you know, we get into issues, and I would see, you know, the whole process for me, I can just speak for myself. It did make me understand him a lot more, and I think it made me a better father. Hopefully it did. I don't know, but I think that, and you'll see it in the film. What happens is, you know, if your kid is going through rough times, you know, the parent your main job is to keep your child safe. So I would do anything. I felt at a loss. So I would do anything that, as we say in the film, anybody with a desk and a diploma, I would listen to them. And the whole idea of tough love, and you have to be a certain way. And it's not my nature. It's not the way I am built, but I went and did that, you know, and I think that, you know, at the end of the day, I know my child better than an expert does. And I probably should have trusted my own instinct. And that's one of the things I did learn about the whole experience.
I think the bonding came not from the story itself, but from the fact that we were working on a movie together, and I could see him in I would think, in the form that he could express himself the best, which is making movies, because he has so much experience. And so seeing that sort of turned me around to be like, okay, I should probably...
No, sorry, I'm responding.
I should probably shut up and listen to him, because he knows a lot more about this. He knows I don't know anything, so I'll learn whatever he has to teach me.
I don't know if we should watch more of this. It's tragic to look at this. Just 10 years ago, father and son make a movie together, and then here we are dealing with the tragedy. I don't know if we should watch more of this. Maybe let the chat decide if we should.
Well, I mean,
continue.
you're speaking to the allure of drugs. You know, there is that point where you think you've got it under control, and all it takes is an event or something to get you back on, and it's the foundation you built up to that point as to whether you can resist or not, and I think that's what we're seeing here, or what we've seen.
Yeah, the allure of the temptation is always going to be there, especially in Hollywood. It's so easy
or
to
for children
get
of
access to
people
it.
in
Or
Hollywood.
children of celebrities. Yeah, absolutely.
I put it in
they
the
have
private
such
chat.
easy access to it, I feel like.
Right before we went live, that their son is being held no bail. It was originally announced for $4 million,
really?
but now no bail.
Okay.
And they are
He's
saying
been
he is
arrested and he's in
responsible.
jail. Yeah.
Let me share that, Badger. Thanks for putting that in there. We're not going to watch. We will leave a link in the description to watch the rest of it. But here we go from the Hollywood Reporter. Rob Reiner's son, Nick Reiner, booked for murder, responsible for parents' death. LAPD confirmed the 32-year-old son. So he was 22.
Wow.
In that video, just a kid.
Wow.
Taken into custody, being held without bail before his case is presented to LADA on Tuesday. This is horrible. This is tragic. This is awful. Nothing to say. I mean, look, I've only seen people singing the praises of Rob's career. A few people here and there saying I didn't agree with his politics, but love Rob Reiner. There was an unfortunate comment, I think, from Trump. The President Trump. Like the first part and last part was a kind of a tribute. He had to kind of make it about himself. I think that's kind of the wrong take. I'm sorry. I think now's not the time. Clearly, I think let's but unfortunately, the way things have gone with other recent deaths, I can see why he might feel that way. And when he was even at Charlie Kirk's funeral, Trump said, to Erica, Erica can, forgive. I can't.
Yeah, we're supposed to be better than them, though. That's the thing.
Right. I mean, you would hope so. I don't want to get in a whole Trump conversation. I'm saying what I'm encouraged. Most people, no one's celebrating Rob Reiner's death. At least I didn't see any on my.
No one should be celebrating Rob Reiner.
Correct. Yeah. I agree with that.
Or any death.
Yeah. I mean, I hope his death doesn't overshadow the amazing filmography. I mean, this is probably he has probably one of the most varied filmographies of a director that was working. Wow. I mean, you're talking everything from A Few Good Men to Misery to Princess Bride, Harry Met Sally, Spinal Tap, and Stand By Me, my favorite. It's pretty amazing, the breadth of his work. And it was very genuine. It all came from a very genuine place of, I think, curiosity. And I think that's what we want to remember about someone when they pass. Not the details of their politics for me anyway. I don't care. It's, we're all connected in some way. We all, we come in this world, we're all going out one way or another. So it's what we do while we're here, right?
Also, I could have seen if this was some sort of politically, in other words, if an illegal alien did it in a street crime, there might be a connection because those were things that Rob advocated for. That is not that. This is the worst way to go is your own kids. So you just don't say anything other than what, tragic thing has happened and our thoughts and prayers.
And I was having a conversation, private conversation with a friend on DMs. We're not politically aligned, but both of us were saying how we're sick of the tribalism. That can we just focus on, we have a problem here that my kids were born in a state where they can't buy a house, where they're going to have a life that's not as good as mine. That cost of living, the middle class gutted. Can we just get to a place where we're brought together to solve issues instead of being tribal and saying, hey, my team won, or good that your team lost? I'm over all this tribalism. I'm over it. and it's you've got a job to do, and trying to divide people. That's the constant divide people. I'm sick of it. I often reference, kind of as a joke, but not really, the movie Flash Gordon, where all the kingdoms of Mongo were kept fighting amongst each other to not notice the real threat, which is the establishment and whatever. Anyways,
to your point, when Rob Reiner was Meathead, Ronald Reagan and Tip O'Neill were bitter political enemies, but they were the best of friends. Reagan even made friends with Gorbachev, his Russian counterpart. That time does not exist anymore, where we could just disagree across the aisle and still be friends and go out and drink afterwards.
No social media.
Yeah.
No,
social media has greatly impacted the way people think, and
you broadcast the worst of everything all the time, and then everyone gets depressed, and then we all get on SSRIs, and then manifestos start getting written. I'm waiting for the toxicology report, because that's unifying. This is a common problem of people going nutter butters.
I agree with you. I think the world is a much better place than how it's portrayed. I think people are much better than how they're portrayed.
Yeah. Let's go to comments from people. There's a lot of them, and appreciate your patience with this. We have other news stories, but let's go through the super chats here.
Bass player for 10. I remember after years of trying, finally getting my friend, who was a massive Andre fan, Andre the Giant, to watch The Princess Bride. I then had to bite my tongue for 90 minutes while watching it with him.
That movie, Princess Bride, is like comfort food.
You
watch that. I don't care if you're in a bed. You put that movie on. It is such a beautiful love story. It's funny as hell. All the characters have their own arcs. It's Wallace Shawn saying "inconceivable."
Yeah, you got to say it with the lisp.
Inconceivable.
Fred Savage and
yes.
Never bet against a Sicilian when death is on the line.
Yes, it's just.
And there were six fingers, right?
But also moments of seriousness. And Carrie Elway's just the "As You Wish," all of that. It's just so romantic.
As you wish.
Yes.
As you wish.
I was a PA on this movie, Kiss the Girls, and Carrie Elways was in that, and he was the nicest guy. He would talk to anyone, didn't matter who you were. He would sit down and actually have a conversation. I remember this guy is so nice. One of my first
chatty duel.
Yeah.
The chatty duel. That's you're using Bonetti's defense against me, huh? I thought it fitting considering the literally we can all just go through the whole movie. That is how quotable. Like this is immortality. Heroes get remembered, but legends never die. Like this will beautiful movie.
And that was just a movie that came to the theater, not a big deal. Right? Not a blockbuster.
Not a lot of fanfare.
Yeah, not a lot of fanfare. It's just a solid movie. You watch it and it so holds up, and it's timeless classic.
Lord comment for 2. Told you the furry movie would do good, right, AB? Yeah, you said it.
He's right.
Okay, solid shout out for $4.99. For 2 days, Alan's review of The Substance was titled The Sequence. Thank God we caught it before. Thank you, MK Solid.
Wait, was it really The Sequence?
Yeah.
Is that true?
I know I didn't do that.
Oh my God. That's a very funny thing that happened last Friday.
The sequel will be called The Sequence. Low comment for 5. AI is proof that wrestlers aren't the only ones who know how to fake it. Rawr. Eric Stratton, shout out. Remember, for 35 months, anyone who wants a systematic education of movie making, watch the fantastic series of Film Threat interviews with great inside baseball details.
Thank you, Eric Stratton. I appreciate you. Love the name reference. Yes, we have 2 sister channels, Film Threat Trailers for trailers of indie movies and Film Threat Interviews. We clip all the interviews we do live. We get, you're able to ask questions to filmmakers. We put them on our channel. It is mostly inside baseball. If you want to make movies, sub to the Film Threat Interviews channel. Watch all those interviews.
Yeah, we have one coming up with the director of Brain Stare, and it's an AI movie, and we get pretty deep in how that was done.
Oh wow, can't wait for that one.
King Dude 1999 for 5. Everyone fell in love with Meg Ryan because of Harry Met Sally.
What a great movie.
I feel like there were others before that one.
True.
Andrew Cram gifted 20 Film Threat membership.
Oh,
Shout out.
Andrew, thank you.
By the way, but again, Harry Met Sally, another film that everyone does the faking orgasm jokes all the time, and the diner got super famous. I'll have what she's having.
That line, I'll have what she's having. Everyone knows what you're talking about.
Remember the shampoo commercial that uses the word, I'll have what she's having. Yeah.
Wait, act it out, Badger. We'll put your full screen.
No, stop. You're gonna make everyone click off.
By the way, the scene of that movie is great with all the couples,
the breathing,
all the interviews with all the couples and what they like.
Yeah. By the way, it was Top Gun that we first fell in love with.
Top Gun.
She was Goose's wife.
Graph Web for 2. In the name of all that is holy, hashtag cancel Disney Plus. Thank you, Graph Web.
Thanks, Graph Web. Thanks.
And The Last Boy Scout. Great movie. Became a YouTube member.
Fantastic movie. Great.
Thank you.
King Dude 1999 for another 5. Andre the Giant, or Andre, was the original Bigfoot on the $6 Million Man.
Oh, that's great.
I used to love that show.
He's so good in Princess Bride.
Mm-hmm.
As kind of this, it's God, that movie is
I know.
so great.
And then he turned on Hulk Hogan and ruined everything.
Oh. A crone lady member for 9 months. People saying, I didn't agree with his politics. Give me the creeps, to be honest. It has nothing to do with it. He died in a horrible way. Nobody deserves that.
Well, I saw a few people saying that. It's fine. I'm not going to hold it against him. But what I'm saying is mostly I've seen universal, like just people sad over the way, his death, his body of work, his,
By
Yeah,
the way,
but over the
you're
last,
damned if you do.
Yeah, I mean, over the last 2 decades, I it's always felt like that if you didn't agree with someone, then you hated them, or people felt like they hated you because you didn't disagree or agree with them. And we have to get beyond that. It's just we disagree. It has nothing to do whether I like you or not.
People say that so they don't get shit from the chat going, oh, every other time you talk about him, you talk shit, but now you're going to act like blah, blah, blah. So you take it and then you piss off the other group by saying, why did you say that?
But you said things just because you said things you disagreed with what that person said. You didn't say things against that person's character or the person they were or the things they have done in their lives. It's just about whether you agree with them politically or not. And we got to get away from that.
Hey, let's pivot. We could all use maybe a laugh right now. Patrick Heaton speaks on Hollywood. This
Patricia
is
Heaton.
Patricia. Did I say
she trans? Did she transition?
I know.
No.
Let's have a laugh.
Yes, good. Mock me. It's fun. Patricia Heaton speaks on Hollywood and what's happening. So let's take a look at this clip.
A really veteran comedy writer said he was in a writer's room where a bunch of the writers were in their 20s. And they had a character that was like a Marine, and he didn't like to hug anybody. He didn't want guys hugging him. He would like tense up. And they were writing this character, and one of the young writers said, well, that's really homophobic. We can't write that. And they said, listen, how does a character change and evolve unless they start in some place? So why not just have him start there? And we see by the end, maybe grudgingly, but by the end, he accepts a hug. Like, you can't have that ending unless you have that beginning. So there's a certain wokeness, I think, in some young people, although there might be even a backlash against that now in this era that we're in.
I remember you telling me a couple of years ago that you were in a writer's room for a show that I think maybe never aired, where you basically felt they had to hire this diverse cast of writers, and they were basically fighting the entire time over what was offensive.
Right. Yes.
It's
yes.
obvious, but it's crazy.
Right. That's because the first thing I heard was like where they came from or what ethnicity they were or what sexuality they identified as and I kept thinking, yeah, but can they write comedy?
You're like, great, you're a lesbian.
Right, exactly. So I think it can come back, but and I'm trying. We're taking stuff out and pitching it, so we'll see.
Do you think so?
So I'm going to show another clip from this, but it's from the Dave Rubin. His show, The Rubin Report. What do you guys think?
What a great anecdote she just said, because it proves everything we were saying for like the 7 years, that like they were just hiring based on intrinsic qualities, not actual meritocracy. Hi, I'm gay and black. Okay, what's your story pitch?
Yeah.
No, that was it.
It makes me think of Everybody Loves Raymond, the PMS episode. Because they, oh my gosh, I mean, it just really gets into it. Deborah is obviously going through PMS. Raymond decides that he's going to gift her with pills to help her out with it, and when she denies that she has PMS or it affects her that badly, he has a tape recording of her going off, and I'm like, that's just to that point of, you couldn't have made that episode unless you went there, unless you just did the horrible things that we do to each other, especially during those times. Because in order to show that, then you can show the growth that comes out of that. And I see less of that more and more. And we'll probably talk more about that when we get to the Star Trek funeral. We just can't talk about being human anymore.
Mm-hmm. Let's look at another clip here.
I look back, so I was always grateful, but I look back on it now and I'm like, that was the heyday.
Yeah.
You had Seinfeld, you had Friends, even going back to a show like Wings, when my first son was born in 93, I watched Wings, was so funny. So there was all these great comedies, and we got to be a part of that. And whenever you would go, either at ABC or CBS, to, one of these Television Critics Association events, and all the casts would show up, and you were like, we're all on shows. Isn't this cool? You'd see your friends from other shows.
Yeah.
And we realized that is probably not coming back now, since the advent of streaming, which blew up the whole system. Even when HBO came onto the scene, you still had the major networks. It was the 3 plus Fox was sort of there. And then you had HBO, and that was kind of it. It's not that anymore. And I realized, my goodness, we got to do that. Like I always was grateful, but I look back on it and I thought, we really didn't realize that we were in this golden era of television.
One of the last great.
I was, oddly enough, I went to one of the TCAs once as a guest for G4. But what do we think about Patricia Heaton's comments? She's just confirming everything we know. Comedy has evolved, and a veteran like herself, I almost feel like the trouble is these new writers lack life experience and then feel they must adhere to a checklist.
They say write what you know, and they know about being diverse.
They lack the life experience. They have to adhere to a checklist. They want to insert themselves into everything. So that way, they can leave their stamp on it and say, hey, that's me. It's more of like a narcissistic attitude as opposed to being creative,
What do you think, Ramesh?
I would take I agree, but I would take a slightly different viewpoint and say that there's so much, they're such corporations now, and they're so brand oriented that everyone is so worried about offending and the outrage out there. And it's about market share, that I think that also dictates as much as anything else, is what you can't say, how you have to. There's no edge to any comedy, right? You have to shave off those edges and make everything palatable for the biggest common denominator, for the 4 quadrants or whatever, for the whole pie.
Yeah, networks don't care what's on the show. They care that they don't go viral because of something they did.
Yeah. And
so
joining
they
us,
avoid it. Yeah.
Joining us late is Disney's Professor X. We've got late, man. Dante James from Verbal Riot Show. Hey, Dante.
Hey, how's it going, guys? All right.
You've got Cyclops glasses on, though.
Yeah, right. I'm a mesh. They couldn't afford both. No. Yeah, R.I.P. Rob Reiner. I heard you guys talking about him when I was on the road. I was trying to get here as quickly as I could, but yeah, man, that's a tragedy. I know you guys are onto a new topic already, but I just wanted to put my respects out there.
Yeah. We'll move on to another topic, but give us your thoughts on Rob.
Man, he's one of those guys where I think his politics didn't creep into his movies. You know what I mean? and he was always able just to make a solid movie. It's funny because people say that he had TDS. No, he's always been that guy, man, since All in the Family. He's always been meathead. Like, he's always been super hardcore lefty. He's always been that guy, but we didn't care back then because he was making great stuff, right? None of that changes. It doesn't change just because, you know, Trump became president and he had a kind of a visceral reaction to it. You know, you got to give the man his respect. You know, no matter how you felt about him, you got to give the man respect for what he's done. And Hollywood lost a huge legend, man. Rob Reiner. I mean, when you think about like just some of the greats, his name is always up there. Yeah. You know, I mean, he's up there with Scorsese to me, like in those guys. So I mean, like this is a big loss, man. And yeah, I mean, the way he went out is the worst part. You know, like if he died of a heart attack or something or a car accident, you know, we could all be like, oh, that's tragic. But to go out the way he did, nobody deserves that, man. Nobody deserves that. And I don't know what his family life was like. I don't know what's up with. And here's the thing. I guess we don't know for sure if the kid did it. Right? I mean, he's arrested.
Well, he was arrested for it. Yeah.
Well, he's arrested, but I'm saying like he's a suspect, right? You suspect.
Well, no. They confirmed it.
They confirmed it. Okay, because I didn't know.
There's a 911 call.
Okay, then he deserves to rot in hell. Absolutely. I just yeah, it was a weird one for me because I'm like, you know, his death is so weird, man, that it almost takes away from like the loss Hollywood is really suffering.
It's surreal.
You know what I mean?
Well, it came out of the blue. No one was expecting it. You know?
What you said about his work, his politics not going into his work. It's like even in a movie like The American President, which is a fucking gun control movie, basically, it works as a great movie with great performances. And it's a romance movie and a father and a widower who finds love again. You just ignore the dumb shit that he says at the end. Like, but I love that performance. So he was able to separate, because that's what happened the last 10 years. No one can separate the ideology of their politics and it ruins everything. He was literally able to have his views, but not let it ruin characters and story and, you know, how people are with each other. And that's what we've lost.
And to be honest with you, I don't think he was as woke as people like say he was, man. I mean, if you remember his role in Wolf of Wall Street, you know, I mean, the guy wasn't afraid to like go there sometimes, man. So like for me, he was just a lefty, right? And even with that, who cares? He was a great director, a great actor, great producer. Like I said, it's just a tragic loss for Hollywood, man, in general.
Yeah. We're gonna most likely keep talking about Rob throughout this show.
It's our therapy.
It's such a loss. Yeah, but let's talk about other big news in Hollywood. Inside the War, Netflix, Paramount over Warner Brothers. This story, Badger, I have notes, and we are going to talk about this quite a bit. Ramesh, I know you have some thoughts to share. Can you bring up the notes, Badger? And here is the story.
I have them.
From the Hollywood Reporter.
Inside the War over Netflix and Paramount over Warner Brothers. As Hollywood absorbs the possibility that Netflix could own Warner Brothers, one senior studio executive initially calls the idea a disaster. Days later, he no longer sounds shocked, not because the outcome feels safer, but because he has accepted what the moment represents: a contracting industry with fewer hits, fewer risks, and fewer reasons for optimism. Rather than choosing between competing saviors, he decided to sit back and watch. The fight itself has become entertainment. The drama for how traditional Hollywood will be devoured is now as entertaining as anything Hollywood could ever come up with. The conflict centers on Ted Sarandos and David Ellison, cast as rival claimants to become the final ruler of Hollywood. Sarandos arrives as the ultimate streaming disruptor, confident in algorithms and scale. Ellison enters as a determined heir, backed by tech wealth and ambition, and a commitment to theatrical releases. Both insist they believe in Hollywood's future, yet neither has ever run a traditional studio, and one has repeatedly signaled disdain for the old system he now seeks to control. These are our options. Hollywood's leadership bench looks thin and tired. Bob Iger and Brian Roberts remain in place, but their business model feels dated. Potential successors face boards, stock prices, and shrinking profits that discourage bold vision. Even Disney's latest AI push feels like innovation, less like innovation than retreat. The result is an industry waiting for leadership that never quite arrives. Both Sarandos and Ellison maneuver within Trump-aligned circles as regulation looms. Ellison's bid reportedly involves Saudi money and Jared Kushner's investment firm. Sarandos meets with Trump despite positioning Netflix as an underdog. Promises and political signaling swirl around CNN and federal approval. Hollywood's would-be king increasingly resembles a governor answering to larger forces, not an emperor. Why would anyone want to own Hollywood now? Box office remains unstable. Broadcast and cable television continue sinking. TikTok and YouTube outperform studios at cultural relevance. AI threatens to flatten creation itself. Soon, anyone with a prompt may be able to scale the gate. Why own the lot when anyone can scale the gate? As bids climb into the tens of billions, the escalating price tag feels like compensation for doubt. When belief in the asset weakens, the number attached to it grows. Certainly something that costs that much can't be worth so little. Hollywood faces a choice between two outcomes that both feel bleak. Embrace the algorithm and risk the disappearance of theaters. Embrace the mogul and still risk losing theaters' credibility and independence. Only one man can win, not because the empire is vast, but because so little remains to fight over. The spoils are so few.
Ramesh, you and I have had several text exchanges. Normally I respond with TLDR, but in this case, I actually read what you sent me. You had some really interesting thoughts about why Netflix really wants to buy WB.
Yeah, I think, well, Netflix has always been about, right, their algorithms, about user data. That's really what they prize more than anything else. So if you're going to buy another studio, you are getting it for its IP. But in their case, I think, and other people have said this, I'm not the first one, it's to probably train some AI models, right? So you've seen, I think, online, like Voldemort as a therapist, or some kid made that video. And I think if you control the IP, right, and you're able to through an algorithm figure out what's popular. I mean, that's how they came up with House of Cards, right? Was, David Fincher and or that infamous actor, they knew that they would have a popular show on their hands. They knew they'd get eyeballs. And I think that's the same idea here, is that then you can create this universe and cross-pollinate certain characters, right? Maybe it's Stranger Things, maybe it's Harry Potter, who knows, whatever that is. And you can use AI to your advantage that way. And you control that, right? You control that IP. I don't know how you enforce it so that other people can't, but I'm sure that's next, right? That every time you use a character that is my licensed character, you'll have to pay something, or it'll be taken down or whatever.
Well, I mean, this is what Disney is talking about. You can make these little, they make them on TikTok already. These little short films, they look like a Pixar movie. They're parodies, but you'll be able to use up to 200 different characters, Disney-owned characters, to make your own little short films that then Disney Plus will own. There'll be guardrails, and then you'll be able to, Disney will, at their whim, feature the best ones, cutting writers out of it. Just make your own little Disney shorts.
Because their biggest competition is YouTube. I had this talk with someone at Amazon who said, they consider themselves number 3. So if Amazon's number 3, and then Netflix is number 2, YouTube, they'll say, is number 1. And they're not worried about HBO, any of the streaming people. They're nothing burgers. And they'll say, the analogy I was given that I'll give you is like, if Amazon was the Earth, then somewhere like Pluto is Netflix, and then Alpha Centauri is YouTube. So if YouTube is really generated, it's everybody creates their own little movies, their videos, and goes online and does it. That's the competition, right? That everyone creates their own user generated content. Whereas everyone else, the traditional model is they create the content. But if I can get other people to come in and create this user-generated content, just like YouTube, I have a fighting chance to compete against YouTube.
It's interesting. I mean,
my IP.
That's interesting. I mean, obviously, YouTube doesn't hire creators. Although they do, in the past, they have had funds they put towards certain creators that perform above a certain level. You have to make your bones, so to speak, as they say, make your bones, as they say in the mafia. You gotta like prove you can reach certain metric levels. Once you reach that level, then you can get monetized, then you get paid. So Disney and potentially Netflix are looking at that model, saying, sure, we'll produce our own content, right? But we'll do user generated content. UGC will be a whole other category on the platform using AI of IP that we own. It's not good for writers in the end or professionals.
It feels like Fahrenheit 451, right? We all become a star. We all get to create our own little niche, sort of like tell our own story. In a weird way, it democratizes, but it also creates so much shit.
Yeah, but then it just creates a whole new meritocracy. There's people lazy as fuck. They're never going to go no matter what tools you give them. But there are YouTube channels like Skywalker Stories and others that are doing better Star Wars with AI and stories the fans actually want. They don't need AI to out their fans, so they know what the fans want. And that's what Disney sees, is that now it gives people who would not have been able to scale the gate and want to the tools to do it, and they know what to do more than any AI algorithm is going to tell them. So those people are the ones that their channels are probably going to go away. You're going to have to subscribe to Sora and have your videos there.
Correct.
But Netflix can also now control streaming windows and theatrical releases and just push everyone more towards a small screen. And that's my pick.
That's what they'll do. Yeah.
That's
unfortunately. It's not good.
Not good. You know what? It's not good, but look, man, I mean, it's really easy to shit on Netflix. I get that. But here's the thing. This has always been their business model, right? It's not like all of a sudden they decided, hey, we're going to change up just so we could buy Warner Brothers. They have always been Netflix first. Everything else doesn't matter, right? So the thing is, theatrical doesn't even fit into what they do. So it wouldn't even make sense on a business level for Netflix to try to do theatrical. Like they don't want you to go to the theater. They want you to watch their thing. I don't blame them for that. I just think that, this is more on, honestly, now that I think about it, this is more on Warner Brothers, right? They can decide who they sell to.
Right.
They can decide. If they choose Netflix, that's on them. Instead of choosing Paramount, right?
That's what their SEC filing was. Sorry, just that they had the better offer and they went straight to Netflix instead. Why? Sorry, Ramesh, go ahead.
No, I was going to say again, as before, they're corporations. All they care about is scaling. They don't care about making art. They care about their board of directors, right? They care about their market share. And so there's this weird idea, and this isn't how Hollywood started, where we just have to keep scaling up and make more and more money, and not just a little money to operate, but so much more. It's an unrealistic model. Right. So to your point, I think they're just going, who is going to give us the biggest money, right, to take over? And
that's also to counter the money they've lost over the years.
Right. I mean, and they've also shelved movies that haven't made, that they think won't make money. Again, they're not in the business of making movies. None of these. They're in the business of making money. That's it. More than ever before. It was always, a business, but more than ever, it is a corporate business. And I think that's where the art got pushed aside.
I think no good will come from this kind of consolidation, but one good thing might come from it. We will see Batgirl. We'll finally see Batgirl.
We're never getting that fucking movie.
Hey, I've got a couple.
They can't do it. You can't see it.
It's who knows?
They deleted it.
Yeah.
So
they say. Someone has a copy, they do.
Real quick, what Dante said about like Netflix, like you didn't blame them because but that's the thing. But then they lie and say, "Oh, we're totally committed to theatrical," even though all evidence is the contrary. And that's what I'm saying. But at least Ellison, if you're gonna lie to me in the right way. And him going after the creators he's gone after, and his dedication to theatrical releases and all of that, it gives me more hope. as long as movie theaters do their part, which I think we have a story about later.
You know, it's funny. I shot for Netflix, and when I talked to the marketing team, like when I talked about, oh, I love Mindhunter, I love Buster Scruggs or Mank, and I'd love to see those on physical media, they kind of laughed. And they said, you know, the only reason we do theatrical windows, we'll license it to like a Criterion for a good sum of money, but we will license it to a prestige boutique, or we will put it in the theaters for only for the award shows, right? That's the only reason, because that gets more subscribers, more eyeballs on there, and that would attract other talent to come to Netflix. Once the award shows go, I know people shit on the award shows. There's no reason for them to do a theatrical to be able to be Academy. I think you have to show it,
eligible.
Right? Eligible. So that'll go away. They have no interest in theatrical whatsoever. They have no interest in physical media. They just want you locked in their sandbox.
Yeah. We've got a few more news stories, and then we're going to go to some Rob Reiner tributes that I found. But on that note, how can movie theaters fill more seats again? This is a story that was from the Hollywood Reporter. Badger, you have the notes. Give it to us.
How can movie theaters fill more seats again? Cinema attendance remains stuck at 64% of pre-pandemic levels. And Bain & Co.'s new report warns that theaters face an existential threat unless studios and exhibitors rethink what going to the movies means. While streaming spending has surged over a decade, box office revenue has slid, and rising concession stands have only heightened the sense that the theaters are expensive for what they offer. Audiences haven't abandoned theaters. They need a more compelling reason to go. The pandemic accelerated every negative trend. Release slates shrank, habits shifted, and digital platforms gained ground. Even though half of surveyed consumers wish they attended more in-person events, that desire hasn't translated into theater traffic. Major studios are still releasing about 20% fewer wide releases than before COVID. Bain describes the current media landscape as the flooded era, a world where drowning in short-form, interactive, digital content where anyone can compete, but not everyone can compete profitably. Theaters, however, still hold a unique edge: immersion, spectacle, and a shared experience. What theaters must do? So, 1, premiumize the experience. Bain argues that cinema must be reframed as a premium event-level outing, rivaling concerts or live shows. That means better auditoriums, elevated service, and personalization that can't be recreated at home. Seeing a movie in theaters is an event, a destination. 2, build community. Community is a major draw that exhibitors underutilize. Bain points to film clubs, themed events, director Q&As, and social spaces as critical tools independent cinemas already use. Social media plays heavily into this. 64% of the U.S. entertainment attendees share their experiences online. That's free marketing if cinemas lean into it. And then lastly, 3, personalization and data partnerships. Theaters should use targeted data to enhance loyalty programs, improve recommendations, and tailor outreach, turning the movie-going experience into something bespoke. And now 4, lastly, embrace new content in a flood of entertainment. Franchises still dominate, but novelty is what sparks cultural moments. Concert films, live sports, innovative originals, and new formats are increasingly essential in drawing crowds. The winning companies will invest in premium, personalized offerings that can't be replicated at home.
Yeah. What do we think of all of this? I think they've kind of been doing this. Like, for example, the theater chain Alamo Drafthouse. Every seat is a luxury seat. You can recline. There's no refreshment stand at a draft house. They bring it to use. There's a menu at your seat. You can order an old fashioned and a popcorn. Draft houses are great, and they're mostly full because there are fewer seats. But what do we think of these suggestions? As
I think it's all lost, dude. I'm saying that as somebody who, again, I'm not trying to be black-pilled here, but I'm telling you right now, I'm in Colorado. You know, I'm in Denver. I went to see Wicked on a Friday night at 6 p.m. The theater was empty. Not my screening. I mean, the whole movie theater was empty on a Friday at 6 p.m. So the rest of like, here's the thing. I think we, and now that I'm here, it's like I understand it. We gauge things by California standards. The rest of the country doesn't give a fuck. Okay, they just don't anymore. I was talking to some friends. We were hanging out the other night, and we're talking about movies, and they literally told me like, hey, you know, we love movies, but you know, we're not going to pay $25 to go see some movie we might or might not like. You know, we'll just wait, because everyone has like a decked out basement. Everyone has like a decked out, you know, movie room at their house. They'll just wait those couple of weeks to watch it. They don't care. They're not going to spend the money. So I'm not trying to just be negative when I say the theaters are in trouble. I mean, they're really in trouble, man, because the rest of the country doesn't really care outside of California.
To Dante's point, that first point, premiumize the experience. To me, it's not the theater that needs to be a premium experience. The movie needs to be a premium experience.
Yeah.
You know, if you're going to spend $25 on a movie, that movie better be worth $25. And unfortunately, there haven't been that many. Zootopia. I mean, that's a movie where parents are going to spend the extra bucks to take their kids and see it, because that's the event. You know, it's for the kids. Wicked 2. Nowhere near the experience of the first movie, and it's not worth $25. I mean, that's the kind of the way I approach it, is just how much money am I going to be worth? How much money do I want to spend on this movie, or otherwise I'm going to wait till it comes out on streaming. Doesn't matter what the theater I see it in. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, the quality of movies and storytelling has gone down while the price of movies have gone up, and people just aren't willing to spend money like that as well. You know, and then the economy hasn't been very good. You know, the past few years since COVID, it's struggled to get back to where it was. So, so when you have that quality going down, price going up, people, you know, can't really afford to do extra things. Movies are supposed to be, you know, working class entertainment, and it kind of feels like it's no longer that. Like, even I'm kind of picking and choosing what to go and see at theaters. And then you also have streaming, right? So where like the window of however long your movie is going to be in theaters, or well, are you going to go, or are you just going to wait to watch it at home? You know, you have that short time of window that the movie is in theaters. Do you want to go and watch it and pay the extra money, or do you want to just stay home and maybe pay like the $20 to watch it at home from the comfortable of your, you know, from the comfortability of your own couch with your own snacks? You know, like, it's just a lot of things that are going against people going to movie theaters. There's so much against it. There's no reason for people to go.
It's an all hands on deck situation. The theaters need to, what was just said in the chat, they need to actually usher and tell people to shut the fuck up and get off your phones, so that when you go there, you're not disturbed. And then on the movie side, you got to start making movies under budget, so the profit range is easier to get to. And this is why I want Paramount, because they're going to up it to 30, which you go, that's way too many. You go like, well, if they Costco hot dog it, if they lost leader for a while, and they release under budget good movies that people like, you know, there's been a couple of good movies we've seen. I wish I had seen that in theater. They're going to have to lose for a while to get people's faith back in going to the movie. And so everyone has to do this in conjunction. If you want theatric movies to say, otherwise just sell it to fucking Netflix and we'll watch streaming for the rest of our lives.
Yeah.
Like,
The second half of the
chance.
article. The second half of the article is about this communal experience, which I agree with. The best movies, the movies that made money, are the ones that people came together and engaged with. Barbie, people dressing up as Barbie, Minecraft. You know, those are the movies that theaters need to fill their seats, because their seats will get filled. K-pop Demon Hunter, no advertising, but it had an existing community, and they came out.
Well, see, those are movies targeted at specific groups of people, and that's just not what Hollywood is making right now. You know, they want to make different stories, and like the Barbie movie was a movie for girls and women, about women experiences, and the women showed up to it. It was, you know, a whole thing where people dressed in pink and went to the movies and watched Barbie. It was a movie targeted specifically towards that core audience of women. Minecraft is for young men, and there aren't very many movies made for young men anymore, you know, and people love the Minecraft game. It's been something that people have been wanting, and you got a character, even though I don't agree with casting, but whatever, a character like Jack Black, who a lot of these young people really, really love as Steve, and they went and watched it and they loved it, and, you know, made it a whole big thing for them. So like all of these event films are targeted at specific groups of people, and when you make movies like that, people will show up. But unfortunately, like, you know, you see with Star Wars, they've wanted to change it. They wanted to change it, and you lost that core audience.
You know, there's a guy, Ted Hope, who's an indie producer, and he flies the flag of indie film, which is great. He's on Substack. I recommend people to follow him.
I follow him for years. He's a great guy.
He said, which I really agree, I think, you know, obviously we're all battling this TV that we all have in our back pocket, right? But he said what would be a great idea is if you price the movie based on some sort of metric of the budget of that movie. So for instance, like a Thelma, maybe that is not a $15 ticket. Maybe that's an $8 ticket or a $5 ticket. Or there's another great film I saw, a really independent film. It's pretty good, called 40 Acres, I believe. I enjoyed it for what it was. And I thought, oh, those films could have had even bigger box office if you just, you know, had them in the theater longer, but with a smaller ticket price. And I think that's the way to go, is a tiered ticket price, so that, sure, you want to see the IMAX Dune Part 3, you know, you're going to pay the $25, whatever. But then remember those little independent theaters that you would go to during the day sometimes, and there'd be like your grandparents' age people there, and they were right next to that like little Chinese restaurant or whatever. And you'd go to that theater and you'd have a great meal. Now it's this amusement park all-inclusive thing where you're paying $30 and then you have to pay another $20 for some alcohol, some popcorn, whatever. And even if you're an A-list member, you still end up spending a good chunk of money. And so I think I think everything you said, but I think realistically, you have to look at how much people are spending for a ticket for a certain movie. And if you are only spending $5 for a movie, I will go check out Thelma. I had no idea what it was. It was a pleasant surprise. 40 Acres was a pleasant surprise. I'm willing to spend, you know, lose $5 on something, and then the movies will come, because then people will make other movies that are more personal and smaller, right? Tell a intimate story that I relate to more. I don't relate to, I don't know if you've talked about it yet, like what Supergirl's going through. I'm sure it's going to be a great film. I hope it's successful, but it's not a movie that I am particularly attracted or interested in seeing, just because I don't really, not that the movies have to relate to it, but I want something in the movie that touches me on an emotional level that feels authentic in some way.
And on this point, a friend of mine told me that a couple of weeks ago, she went to see the Foo Fighters for $50, right? $50. Right. Movie tickets are $25. She got to go see a whole ass concert with an opening act, right? For $50, for $25 more, right? So this is the experiences we're talking about here, man. And I think you're right. You know, there needs to be a tier system where, you know, certain movies are lower or cheaper. Or how about if a movie's been out for 2 or 3 weeks or 2 weeks, you start dropping the price on it a little bit, right? So that way people will still go to the theater. Another problem, though, is there's just better TV out there right now, right? There's just better TV, man. Like, honestly, I haven't been excited for a movie in forever. I was so excited to watch Welcome to Derry last night. To watch the finale.
I want to see it in the theater, though. That's what I'm saying.
But that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's just there's better TV, and movies aren't good, and it's more expensive. So they're fighting a real losing battle unless they can figure out whatever that needs to be figured out. And at this point, honestly, I don't even know what that is. Like we have all these suggestions. I still don't know if that'll fix the problem.
It's interesting because sorry to jump in. Tarantino once said, you know, that, you know, it's, which I agree, that you could never make a Django Unchained as a series. Like you could make it as a series, but it wouldn't have the intensity of that 2 hour. So I think someone here was talking about movies need to be better written or better made movies. I think they need to be more of an intense or a cathartic experience. I remember Die Hards or whatever the movie that you loved as a child that you didn't judge when you went in, but there was something cathartic about it, something intense. I mean, the latest Predator movie was great. Whether you liked it or not, you can have issues with it, but I thought it was on the right track of doing something. Yeah, I think that experience that's what we're missing, I think, is that experience. And when someone says, oh, well, I could just watch it at home, you can't quantify the communal experience that I think Alan or someone said. There's some collective consciousness, as woo-woo as that sound, that happens when you're in a theater of strangers that I know I've made friends in theaters.
When Captain America picked up Mjolnir in Endgame, I've never fucking heard a crowd react like that before. I watched that movie 3 times, not for the movie, but for the crowd experience of people losing their shit. You can't.
So I'm going to throw this out
at
there. Tonight, we're going to the local theater. We're going to have an Ella McKay party. Come dressed as your favorite character from Ella McKay, and we'll have martinis and we'll have Manhattans and whatever, and have a gay old time.
Well, it doesn't have to be like a huge event to bomb people, man. I remember when me and Chris, you remember when we went to go see Am I Racist? Right, the crowd was great, man. Like we were having a hilarious time, man. If you guys haven't seen that, watch Am I Racist? It's hilarious. Go watch.
Drive Away Dolls is not a great film, but when I was in that theater, and I think Chris, you were there, it was like the crowd made it a fun, campy, low budget experience. It was great, and I agree. One of your people watching this said, "Make movies shorter," and I cannot emphasize more.
Hour and a half.
Remember, the great noirs are like 90 minutes and under.
There are very few movies. There are very few movies I've seen over 2 hours that earn that running time. There are great films over 2 hours, but north of 2, you better really have a reason for it.
I know. And we're going to review Avatar tomorrow.
Yeah, we are. Yes. Tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Pacific time, the embargo breaks. Alan and I will do a special live stream, 1 hour review Avatar Fire and Ash.
And how long was that movie?
3 hours and 17 minutes.
Nope.
Chris was like, it's a lot of movie.
How many pee breaks is that?
It's a lot of movie.
Absolutely not.
We have more news stories, but a lot of really interesting Rob Reiner tributes have posted, even while we're doing this show. And someone sent this to me. Can you recognize this this Easter egg? It's from A Few Good Men. Can you guys see that? Should I zoom in there better? Can you see what I'm seeing?
I see a TV screen.
Is it Tom Cruise's TV?
The book that's next to the TV says Paul Sheldon, Misery's Love. It's a book, a paperback, which connects to Misery. This is from A Few Good Men. I thought that was great. But there are some others here. Really great tribute here from the Academy Museum. I'm going to throw this up. If you would read it, Badger. This is just about Rob and his career.
Rob Reiner's impact on cinema is immeasurable. Across decades, his work shaped how we laugh, how we love, and how we tell stories. From the razor-sharp satire of This Is Spinal Tap to the aching nostalgia of Stand By Me, the enduring romance of The Princess Bride and When Harry Met Sally, the suspense of Misery, and the moral weight of A Few Good Men, his films became cultural touchstones, endlessly quoted, revisited, and cherished across generations. Rob told stories with uncommon warmth and clarity, moving seamlessly between comedy, romance, drama, and suspense. His work received an Academy Award nomination for A Few Good Men and helped create moments that have lived with audiences for decades. In his films, we continue to find laughter, love, and a reflection of ourselves.
Yeah. Ramesh is typing. He's tapping away here. He's got to jump off
his keyboard. I mean,
I know you got to jump off, Ramesh. Thanks for being here. We'll have you back when we got more time. Take care, Ramesh. See you at the movies. Actually, in Burbank.
Yeah.
Okay. Take care. See you soon.
Ramesh.
Bye. Cool. So, and there was, of course, the Donald Trump Look, I'm just gonna put it up for a second because you can't ignore it. This is what Trump had to say. Badger, if you would, there.
No, I'm not gonna do it. A very sad thing happened last night in Hollywood. Rob Reiner, a tortured and struggling but once very talented movie director and comedy star, has passed away, together with his wife Michelle, reportedly due to the anger he caused others through his massive, unyielding, and incurable affliction with a mind-crippling disease known as Trump derangement syndrome, sometimes referred to as TDS. He was known to have driven people crazy by his raging obsession of President Donald J. Trump, with his obvious paranoia reaching new heights as the Trump administration surpassed all goals and expectations of greatness. And with the golden age of America upon us, perhaps like never before, may Rob and Michelle rest in peace.
I mean, he just should have showed some restraint. That's all I have to say. But I will say that, like, I can maybe see how he got there from the standpoint of he is constantly attacked. I mean, this is from wait, I've got another one here.
I mean, Donald Trump is not universally loved.
It's a be the better man type of thing.
Yeah, I just think, like this is from Rob Reiner.
Yeah.
Badger.
Yeah. And this is Rob, right? Yeah. Until Trump goes to prison, I will no longer be posting on Twitter. I've had it with the insults and put downs. Fuck all of you MAGA assholes. So we all get fun sometimes.
Well, and this is all developing here. This is a story from Rolling Stone. Okay. Rob Reiner took son Nick to Conan O'Brien's party to keep an eye on him day before the alleged murder. Sources tell Rolling Stone that Nick exhibited antisocial behavior at Conan O'Brien's Christmas party. This is what he looks like now. We looked at the interview with him from 10 years ago. He was a good-looking young man.
Those dead eyes.
He looks troubled here. It's very sad to see. So this is all of
the same person.
Yeah, he does not. This is what 10 years of doing drugs will do to you. Look, it's tragic. It's sad. I'm glad he's being acknowledged as really one of the great directors, because how many do we have now? How many great directors are still working, are in the business? Scorsese may be he may be retiring soon. He's
right
up there in age. We've got Chris Nolan is kind of really leading the pack. Quentin Tarantino's vowed to make one more movie.
He's screwed himself by saying it's just one more movie, because now he can't decide what to.
Yeah, exactly. He's painted himself in a corner. I heard him talk about why he made that decision, so I respect it. But I mean, look, I believe social media is a double-edged sword, the good with the bad. But what I've seen, at least on my feed, are mostly praising Rob's career. And I don't know who mentioned it earlier, but for the most part, I think Rob kept politics out of his movies. The movies were stories that were timeless, that people could relate to. Now, he didn't hold back when he was on, say, a political show, and that was his role. He knew his role. But I saw a guy who got into it with him on one of those political shows, saying he was the nicest guy in person, and they laughed about the fight they had about politics. Like, he was a human being, and I think
what Dante said.
That.
He's always been like
sorry,
this.
Dante. Yeah, you were saying.
Oh no, earlier, just that's what he said. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
like,
he's always been that guy.
Yeah,
and I think we forgot how to be like that. I guess the thing I've been frustrated with personally is just watching our media vilify half the country as a way to justify like horrible things happening. We've seen it now, put Rob Reiner aside, we've seen it over this weekend. Horrible things happen in our world because propaganda has pushed people to the point where they're justified in doing heinous things. And it sickens me to see what's happened to our world. Robert Meyer Burnett, not here today, in his own neighborhood, gunfire at an event. just it's sad to see. Any more thoughts on Rob, or if anyone else has something to share, put it in private chat and I'll bring it up. I'm sure we're gonna more. Yeah. I mean, look, this is going to unfold. A lot more is going to come out. None of it good, and it's terribly tragic. And what can you say? Look, he's a legend, and there are so few left. Let's end with this. The 17 best movie performances of 2025. What could those be? This is also here from Rolling Stone.
Jack Black.
Oh gosh.
Florence Pugh.
Look, I saw this list. I previewed it. I can say I agree with all but one.
Oscar Isaac better be on.
It'd be number one, right?
I bet
Terrible.
Cynthia Erivo's on there. They love her.
Oh, we're gonna go through the 17 best performances, not movies, performances of 2025. Let's scroll through. No one will disagree with the first one here, which is Michael B. Jordan, Sinners.
Yeah.
He
played two people.
He played two people. Yes. No, three if you consider after he turned.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
In a way.
2.5.
2 point. Yes, in a way. You can look at it that way. This is not an argument. I think that's no wonder it's number one on this list. But let's go through and see if you agree with this. Been looking. Jesse Buckley, Hamnet, for the two people who on the screen have seen it.
Yeah.
This movie just seems so depressing.
Haven't seen it.
It lifts you up in the end. Not to give away the ending.
Does it? Okay.
Yeah, the ending is uplifting. Sean Penn. Look, I did not love this movie. Sean Penn in this movie is very good. And Tiana Taylor. He was really good. Moving on. Jennifer Lawrence in Die My Love. I didn't see it.
Yeah.
Really?
Anyone see it? No.
Nope.
Okay.
I mean, she looks so hot in that picture. I don't know why I missed
her. An R-Pat?
What is that? And then a movie I saw, Daniel Day-Lewis, Anemone.
I tried to see it, but it wasn't at the theater.
It was very limited release. Very limited. Michael Fassbender and Kate Blanchett in Black Bag. That was very early in the year. I thought they were really good. I don't know.
The great performance of 2025. I mean,
I'd forgotten it. Joel Edgerton.
Very good performance.
Excellent. It's on Netflix. Is that on Netflix?
Yes,
now?
it's on Netflix.
Okay, good.
Amy, absolutely. Yes.
By the way, I didn't when I first saw this movie, I didn't even know it was her.
I know.
Did anyone know it was her?
Nope.
What's this makeup?
Well, I figured it out at the credits.
Yeah.
Are you
amazing.
going to the thing tonight, by the way?
Yes, I am. I'll be there.
Okay.
Jacob Elordi in Frankenstein.
Yes, very good.
Amazing. Amazing.
And hopefully Oscar's on here too, because.
And Alan, I assume you're going to see this. And you can pronounce his name, Alan, please.
Lee Byung-hun.
Asian asks Alan.
Lee Byung-hun. But just from the picture, it looks like a great performance.
Okay, continuing. Okay, by the way, Margaret Qualley in Honey Don't, terrible movie. He is awesome. There are scenes in this. She is, smoking hot, but also just a badass. And she's, I really like her. The movie itself is god awful.
Yeah, it is the queer performance of the year.
Yes, if you had to categorize it. And this one, I think it's the last.
Get out of here.
Keanu Reeves in Good Fortune is a no.
He plays Keanu Reeves in it.
Yeah. Liev Schreiber and Vincent D'Onofrio.
I did like them.
They're the rabbis?
Yeah, I did like their performance. These were the two best characters in the movie.
That's great. And I think that's it. We reached the end of the list.
Wow.
What do you guys think of the list?
I only saw like 3 of them.
A lot of movies that are on that list.
There are a lot of movies that no one's seen yet.
And these will all be Oscar ones. Hey, I want to, before we end the show, a couple things. Want to remind people to join us for our Star Trek funeral. This is Wednesday, December 17th, approximately noon Pacific time. We're going to go, it'll be our longest stream, probably go 8 hours. It will be live. You're all invited, everyone on the stream. Drinker will be there, the critical drinker. Gary from Nerdrotic, Az from Heel versus Babyface, even Mahler has agreed to come on. Everyone from Versus, please pop in, give us your eulogy, and pay your respects to one of the greatest film franchises of all time. Let's take a look at this little promo.
He's dead, Jim.
So please remember, post your eulogy on social media. Use the hashtag Star Trek is dead and hashtag Star Trek funeral. We will find viewer eulogies. My recommendation, if you want yours shown, because Tom McLaury is going to be vetting them, making sure there's no nudity. Okay, let's do a respectful.
Keep your pants on, people.
Keep your pants on, or at least they can be off camera. And we will feature the best eulogies. If they're short, like under a minute, give your eulogy, what Star Trek meant to you, and can't wait to see you then. We've got some super chats to get to, but today was such a somber show. I wonder if I could just lighten the mood with, during the stream, I was sent this video. This is my dog after she got out of the bath. This is Olivia the dog. Now, after getting out of a bath, this is what she's like. She kind of rolls on the floor. She's freshly, if you've ever given a dog a bath,
yeah,
that's what happens. They get,
yeah.
And she's right outside my door here. Can't come in. She sometimes sneaks in, but there you go. I just want to something to smile.
Thanks, Chris.
My dog
I think it's to get the water out of their ear.
Yeah. Her nose and ear and
soap out of their eyes.
Yeah, Olivia, probably named for Olivia Munn. Let's get to the comments here. Let's get to our comments as we wrap up.
Lord Comet for 2. Andre was the god Dagoth in Conan the Destroyer.
Wow, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. This is crazy. Wow.
No action required for $7.99. I've just spent 4 years getting a show up, including diverse writers' rooms in the studio system. Nightmare. I'd love to chat to you guys about it.
Go to the Film Threat website. On the footer of the website, there's a little button, says contact, email Alan, and it directly goes to Alan, and I use that button, contact at Film Threat. So
there is action required. You need to email them.
Yeah, but we don't put our email address on the website for just reasons of spam crap, whatever. But if you use the form, it goes to our emails, and then we can respond to you. If you're willing to talk, speak on the record. A lot of people reach out to me in the industry to tell me things. And Alan as well. It happens all the time. Even when we're out in public, we run into people. It happens. But thank you for that.
Russ Man for 10. You need to look hard at the Ellisons, Paramount, TikTok, CBS News, Oracle, etc. connections. That's the real problem with this whole thing. Not really. Only if you think everything MAGA is bad. But other than that, not really.
Yeah, I just think consolidation is bad.
Yeah, I think the point is so many companies consolidating together. That's
is not good. We're gonna get in the future of the Terrell Corporation. It'll be
market dominance, things like that.
Yeah, there'll be 5 corporations that run the world. Or a better example, rollerball. There are no countries in rollerball. There are corporations, and there are anthems to the corporate state, right? And we're hurtling toward that science fiction future of corporate states.
Wayland Yutani.
That's right.
That's who you're going with? I'm going with
That's
Circa
where we're heading.
Corporation.
That's where we're heading to.
I'm going with Snark.
Re and Me for $4.99. Crazy thing is that the word premium is already getting tossed around. Premiumization, if you will.
Yeah. I hate all the new terms.
Yeah. I mean, where do we live, Oz? Come on.
The Immortal Remus for $1.99. $25. I pay $7 on average each time at my theater. Yeah, I pay like $22 with taxes.
Jeez. Got to get A-list.
It's English Batchers for $5. So let's blame it on everything but product. You would sit on a crap seat and forget about it in 10 minutes for a great movie.
Yeah. I don't need to see a movie in IMAX. I could see it in one of the small theaters and be perfectly happy.
I agree.
Yeah.
I'm a snob now. I want that big screen. The Immortal Remus for another $4.99. For $20 on average at the London Prince Charles Cinema, they do all-night marathons where you can watch between 7 and 10 films in one night and make friends.
Yeah, that's kind of the community aspect of theaters, to build a fan base for the theater,
right?
And in hopes of getting people to show up for every film or any.
Yeah, except all the movies are 2.5 hours each.
Yeah, but
So-
that's, to be fair, that's what the Alamo Drafthouse did in Austin, Texas.
Mhm.
What they did was they trained their audience. And what they would do is they would play 30 minutes of weird videos like before. So everyone knew to show up early, get some pizza and beer, and hang out and watch the pre-show for the film. It
Also,
was
Jaws, Back to the Future, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I've gotten to see these all on the big screen for the first time, and they were amazing. Due to so the fear would be if the catalog of Warner Brothers goes away to streaming only, we'll never see those re-releases when they should be doubling down on re-releases, trying to get people in the theaters.
Yeah, by the way, The Shining was last weekend.
Was it? Damn.
Yeah.
The Immortal
I've been to
Remus.
the Draft House too. You're absolutely right. They do train their audience.
Yeah.
The Draft House has always been considered like the adult theater. Only adults can go to the Draft House. You only take children to see. If the Draft House is playing the kids movies, that's where you take the kids. But like it's considered like an adult theater because like they would serve alcohol there. Now all theaters do that, but like the Draft House used to just serve alcohol. And I loved how they trained their audience. Like, you be quiet, motherfucker. Like, you better not say shit during this movie. They were very harsh with you, but they also followed through with that as well.
We need
Like, they
ushers
would
with
kick people
whips.
out. Yeah,
Quiet.
they also followed through. They would kick people out for talking during movies, which was
It's
pretty
that
cool.
voicemail they play before the movies.
Yeah.
The woman complaining about being kicked out.
I love those. It was great.
A lot of the films this year did not interest me, especially the way they look, too clean looking in the way they are shot. Shout out the Immortal Remus. for
digital.
$4.
Thanks, Immortal Remus, for all your super chats today.
Pilgrim Media for $2. That was a great time in wrestling. R.I.P. Andre.
Yeah. Andre the Giant.
Rick, member for 14 months. What time does the Star Trek funeral start?
It starts at noon Pacific time, and the link is actually live on the film thread. If you go to the channel, it's live already. You can click the bell for notifications, as they say, and join us live. So Rick, be there. And we are playing a lot of videos. Let's just say we are going to get hit, and I hope we don't get taken down. We're playing a lot of videos because part of this is an appreciation for Star Trek. We're doing the funeral, yes, which is something of a joke. Not really. There's a serious side. We're having fun with it, but we're also playing clips that will remind you why you love Star Trek, why it's such a beloved franchise. We did that with our Star Wars funeral, which is still live. It's still up. We had to clip a lot of things out to be able to, but when you watch live, you'll get to see all the clips. After, it's going to take some time to make it so we can keep it live, but please join us noon Pacific time this Wednesday. I want to thank our mods, Lord Thoth, MK Solid, Atomic Glory in the background, Glenn Nuccio, everyone here, Badger, Steph, Verbal, thank you for being here and sharing your thoughts, and just love doing this with you. Next week will be our last Versus show with the crew until the holidays are over. You guys, Alan and I will still be doing verses. It's going to be Chris versus Alan. I think it's going to be, we're going to other way.
The other way.
And then
way,
maybe
Alan. Other way.
Badger.
Isn't it? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm looking at my screen.
Okay.
Which is
No,
the
this, like this.
Yeah,
Al.
yeah.
Anyways, Alan and I would be doing verses over the holidays, but a week from today, we will talk Avatar. See the box office. I assume, Dante, you'll see it in an empty theater.
Most likely.
It's let us know how
And
many
apparently I'll
gummies.
see one of the Doomsday trailers too.
Yeah, that's the main reason to go. So
We'll
we'll talk,
compare notes. I'm going Saturday to see it.
yeah, all hands on deck.
Super sold
Monday.
out, by the way. Like
Yeah.
packed theaters.
It's random seats here and there, but you can find seats. So thank you to everyone for that. And my condolences to Rob Reiner's family. It's a horribly tragic situation unfolding as we speak. And it's just nice to go on social media for once. And thank you, Rick, 1662.
Didn't
for
say anything. Just
1999. Just yeah, that's it. Thank you. Appreciate that. That's great. It says I'm Pickle Rick. Thank you.
made aggressive eye contact, hands you $20, and
There you
walked.
go. And
It's like a whore.
it's
Here's your money.
Well, he did put his G-string, thankfully.
I mean, there was so much horrible news over the weekend. I had hard time sleeping last night, but finally seeing like these like almost in totally unanimous love for Rob Reiner and his work. And you know,
By the way, R.I.P. Anthony Geary.
I was gonna put
Another random.
I wasn't gonna talk about this. I watched General Hospital.
Yeah.
So did I.
Back
Wait,
in the
Anthony
day.
Geary's dead?
I watched
passed
him
away.
Oh no.
back in the day. Tony Geary, if you know, Luke
Oh,
and Laura,
no.
Yeah,
What?
I know.
Luke and Laura. Okay, I'm embarrassed
Yeah,
to say.
I mean,
78.
I only watched soap operas in the mid 80s and it was only General Hospital.
Yeah.
Well, my aunts, I'm very close to my aunts, they would babysit. There was one summer they babysat me. That was the summer where Luke and Laura ran off together. Remember the left-handed boy? It was a statue. Remember the wasn't the Kardashians? What was it?
Yeah.
John Colicos was like the patriarch of the family.
Cassadines.
Not Kardashians. It was something like that.
It's like
And,
Cassadines or the
Cassadines.
yeah.
Yes, they were this evil family, and they were part of it. and-
Quartermains. That's
The
it.
Quartermains. The
yeah,
Quartermains.
whatever it was. Anyways, I was okay. I didn't like soap operas. My aunts who watched that show got me obsessed with it. Every day I'd do my paper route after school and rush home to watch General Hospital. And it was an obsession.
I totally agree. I put a link in the private chat. It's funny because we're talking about Anthony Geary, but look where he got his start. Click the link.
Oh my God. Full
That's where he got
circle
his start.
Was it porn?
on
All in the Family.
Here he is. Future General Hospital star Tony Geary in a guest appearance on All in the Family with Rob Reiner. They both passed away a day apart at
That's
age
insane.
78. That is crazy.
Same age, yeah.
Look at that. Oh my God.
Ah.
But you have no idea. This was a phenomenon. When General Hospital was on and the whole Luke and Laura thing happened,
Well, their wedding was an event.
it was an event, the wedding of Luke and Laura, but the whole like year when she like left her. Here's Tony Geary. Look there, him in 1981. That's how he looked on the show.
Yeah.
But
this was as big as Who Shot JR.
Yeah.
Like, it was that big.
it was a phenomenon. The only thing I could compare it to was
Shot Mr. Burns.
No, the frenzy over Star Wars. It was on the cover of every magazine.
Mhm.
It was talked about on every talk show. It was now. I'm not the demographic, but because my aunts watched this soap opera, I got caught up in General Hospital and the whole left-handed boy. I mean, we used to make jokes about it. I mean, look at this. There's Tony Geary on All in the Family. Wow. God, that is just so sad. But yeah, there he is. So God. Luke
R.I.P.
Spencer.
man.
R.I.P. Yeah. I wasn't going to bring it up because it's from so long ago, and I don't know. Only I would remember, But I guess I did. I guess there were other people.
Yes.
Dante, you watched General Hospital?
Dude, so for me, I had asthma pretty bad when I was younger, when I was a kid. And so I'd be home a lot from school. And my grandmother, man, that's all she watched was General Hospital. So I got attached to these characters. And I think I even watched it up to my 30s. I was still watching General Hospital.
That's great. Yeah, Tony, you have no idea the fanaticism over this show. When General Hospital was on in the late 70s and the 80s, they ran the storyline with Luke and Laura. It was the biggest thing I think ever. I could only compare it to Star Wars in terms of the fanaticism over it.
Well, it's kind of what really put daytime television on the map, man. Like daytime soaps, this was the one.
Yeah, and so we're gonna end it there. But Tony Geary, pouring out for Tony Geary, and just another reminder for our Star Trek funeral. We'll be doing that on Wednesday. So join in all your Star Trek favorites: C-3PO, Princess Leia, R2-D2, Chewbacca. I love different pronunciations. Chewbacca. Han Solo.
And then whenever Han Solo would give an order, it was never tell me the odds.
Yes, that's exactly. It was
Falcon or the Falcon.
And then Luke would say engage, and they would go into Space Trek. So there we are. We're gonna end it there. But thank you, everyone. I love this. Is fun. Every Monday, I'm looking for how can I make you laugh? How can I show you guys something dumb? How can I embarrass myself? And just have fun with the audience too. So there you go. And that's going to wrap it up for us. Alan, what would you like to say?
I would like to say, let's get out of here.